Last chance saloon. Maurice Longbottom gets us underway. Win for Australia. And off to Paris, but off to the races. Here is Api Bavandra, who's been really good for GB this weekend. And away they go, rolling forward. His home team. Matt Davidson, though, ball stolen away from him. Turnover from James Turner.
Wow, sharp work from James Turner. It's nice from Matty Davidson. Got on the outside, but just shows you how quick you've got to be in your support if you're going to hold on to the ball in this game.
Tap and go from Josh Turner, who's been a real mainstay of this team. They've had some injuries, players depart the program after Super Rugby and whatnot. New faces in this side, but this is a promising build-up as James Turner's brought to ground. Australia make the first moves upfield. Nathan Lawson through the hands. It's slung across to Clements. And now Josh Turner trying to get around the outside. Little ball back in field for his captain, Nick Malouf, the leader of this Australian team. Carries hard every time. It's nice and quick for Australia to work with, loading on this right-hand side, and Longbottom will score first for Australia. Important strike early doors for the Aussies.
Swift, decisive play from Australia to start this game. There's a little mascot watching on. They take that with them everywhere on the World Series. The youngest guy and looks after it. But this guy's not a young guy, he's experienced, he's smart, and he's taken his team forward at the start of this one. And Maurice Longbottom with his wheels. They're not going to stop him from there.
He's another who's had a good weekend, Maurice Longbottom. And a chance to convert his own tries. Just going to push this across the face. So 5 points to 0, Australia. Familiar GB faces watching on. Ed Jones, Jazz Joyce, Ian Kwanzaa. Oh, she tried to tell us last week she couldn't actually move. She had no rhythm, Meg Jones. Big to differ. They're back into camp next week. In GB women, they've got Olympic qualifying now too, ahead of them in the European qualifiers in mid-June, just like their men's team will have.
A big challenge for the GB programme. Both teams, both sets of players be desperate, and they're up against it with a lot of off-field chatter going on as well.
Sorry. Crouch.
Really struggling to get the programme sorted. Big promises last year about where the programme could go. Just searching for the support to back that up now.
Robbie Ferguson, speaking of really good leaders, spoke so well about those issues yesterday. This guy's giving so much.
To fit in the ball, I need the gap to be
the chatter between Ferguson and Longbottom.
Okay? No, it's okay, you. Time back on.
It is such a unique sporting competition. Very few around the globe that rival it, where you go out and batter each other and then you share some scrambled eggs over the breakfast buffet the next day. Ferguson scoots away out to the right. Robbie Ferguson, you link up on the outside. Davidson crashes in to Tim Clements, who can't roll out of the way there. Not a lot he can do. So is penalised, and away they come. It's a nice ball to Ferguson. Loomed up on that right. It came from Freddie Roddick, who clears here now as GB look to get the bounce back score. Roddick can't get through Roach. Davidson spreading wide for Kelly. GB coming back into the traffic through Ferguson. He's looking through that for that thrust in the line. Roddick
backwards.
Barden tidies up. Here's Green with the speedster. Just no room for them. All players just clambered in that one area, and eventually the penalty comes.
Everything to go out of the way, rolling.
Api Bavandra on this near side, throwing up his hands. I think he wanted the ball. He's in acres of space. There he is, he wanted it. And why not give it to him? Such a danger man. Just give it to him, see if he can create something.
Instead, it's Australia who comes away as James Turner puts it on the toe. Shoulder to shoulder and bumping off Bavandra, but he's going to concede the penalty in the process.
Push off the ball.
Knocked him off the ball.
Wow. It takes a bit to bump Appy anyway. I'm not sure. Poor for me. That's a pretty soft one. I think so.
That was a no-way, golly gosh, you've got that wrong, referee.
Please, sir. Surely not.
Jimmy the Jet
Crouch.
made his debut in Los Angeles last year.
Bind.
In the 2022 season.
Set.
Missed a couple of tournaments as well, with some injury. It's tense at the moment, 90 seconds to play in this first half, and just the one score in it. The Maurice Longbottom try as Ferguson cuts a track up the middle. The two tens, the skippers, and it's Maloof who wins out in that one.
Extra roll number 10.
That's the risk of carrying close to the scrum. You bring the forwards like Nick Maloof into the jackal situation if you set the ruck.
Tap from Maurice. Away he goes for Dietrich Roach, who has really stepped up the young man this season, and away goes Josh Turner looking for Lawson, who can't hold on to it. They're trying so hard. It's not quite coming off for them at the moment.
It looked like they were in. Turner puts the hammer down, looking for Lawson, who's been so good. I think even if he takes this, Bavandra's looking to collect him into touch. He lets him know he's there anyway.
Australia already, as I said, without Henry Patterson for this match, who's been probably their best all season, and looks like Longbottom's going to have to come off.
Okay.
The physio, Jared Rangihuna, making the call.
He's already got tape around that hamstring there. Looks like they were checking the hamstring there. So I suspect that might be incredibly frustrated coming off.
Brings Matty Gonzalez out there for Australia in jersey 9.
Tough position to play up from here, GB, at this scrum. Pretty pinned in the corner. What do you think about kicking the backfield? Punch set. Again, close to the ruck. See what they come up with.
There's not a whole lot of room to move out of there, is it? As I was going to say, the front rows come up, but the scrums come up.
No. Both teams, you do nothing to stay square and to stay steady. Okay? You have to stay steady until the ball is in. Fine.
So often people think the scrums in sevens are a bit of a formality, but actually you get the edge on, you get the one side or the other up. It can make a big difference. The ability it gives for the nines to get on the move and get running to create the extra number.
Ferguson feeds this one cleanly this time as Roddick and GB pay out in front of their own goal post as Davidson hacks his way downfield for Greenwood to chase, and Gonzalez has got away from him. He's scooting off Matt Gonzalez. Fresh legs onto the field. Calf's gone on the way. He's scored the try. Matt Gonzalez. I think he said, I've just done my calf. But it could be a critical score for them.
Well, it's a loose kick from GB. The option not the worst, but you got to put it one side or the other. It's too far down the middle, which gives Gonzalez the opportunity to come and sweep it up. And he's got a clear run to the try line, and on the way, stinger, there it goes. And you hate to see that.
Oh, sniper from the grassy knoll, but he's done enough to get there, Gonzalez, and it could be absolutely vital for his team. Let's hope it is just the calf. It looks like it is that. As the conversion from out wide sneaks over as well. And Australia go 12-0 up at half-time. In the most important seventh place playoff for Australia they've ever been involved in. They win this, they're off to the Paris Olympics. And they lead Great Britain 12-0. Lost two key players though now. Maurice Longbottom limping off, and Matt Gonzalez, who scored the try just before half-time. When I say it's just a calf, I was always concerned when someone pulls up about an Achilles, but he had a smile on his face as he came off eventually. As away goes Australia, charging down the middle again here. Nathan Lawson brushing off Great British bodies. Massive strike straight after half-time for Australia, and one of their key men, Nathan Lawson.
Nathan Lawson is announcing himself as one of the top threats on the World Series. This is class. He just gets it. There's not much on here. He sees a weak shoulder, gets the fend on Robbie Ferguson, and then his stride. Look at that. What an athlete. What a player.
He's really added pace and power to this Australian team. 17-0 now. Make it 19 off the boot of Dietrich Roach. It feels like it could be close, but still just under 6 minutes to go.
It's desperate for him to ease off there. We've seen two lads limping off and say, ease off. But he went full guns all the way.
Dietrich Roach, that kickoff is not going to go 10 metres, so a mistake from Australia. Let's see what Great Britain have got in response. Here's Homo, who's had a good weekend for GB. Peter Kelly goes to ground and Sofalarin into the fray as well. And hands are good from Jamie Barden as Bavandra goes up the middle. Roddick comes back down this blind side. Senior players working together, and now out for Homer. And it dances his way through the Australian defence, holds his feet, and then flicks a ball that's going to land for Maloof, and it came off Maloof's leg, so play on. This is the call for Australia. Win and they're in. They're off to Paris if they win this. Australia as Sargent rolls forward. Here's Lawson, the danger man. He's got Clemens, but goes himself. Nathan Lawson. Homer gives up the chase, and Lawson bags the second.
Well, it's sloppy from GB, turning the ball over. Australia's defence too organised, and they had to force it in the end, GB, and they coughed it up. But this is lovely from Lawson. The show, and a big go from a big man. And they might just start to think about Paris next year.
Well, I think that's been part of the problem. They've been thinking about it so much over the course of the last couple of weekends. They haven't taken care of the results, but they are taking care of business now, Australia. 24 points to 0. They win this. It secures the last automatic qualifying spot, and it leaves me lost for words for a second. It leaves Samoa having to go to Oceania qualifiers after they were beaten in the semi-finals.
Make sure to be behind the line. Yes.
24 points to 0 this time. Roach opts to go long and makes no mistake with the kickoff as it's brought down by Jamie Adamson for GB out on the field. Now here's Barreto as well. Lawson trying to disrupt Australia's ball, playing out in front of their own sticks. Great Britain. Little short ball, and the hands are really good from Adamson, but they lost control off the feet and frustration.
Supporting body weight. Well.
And just a little bit of calm from Maloof.
Captain.
It's the stage of the game. GB very much trying to force it. Kick it.
Yeah, now.
Signal it goal, have they?
From now.
Why not?
Well, you don't see it often in the game of sevens, but Australia very aware, going to make absolutely sure as this clock is going to.
Just steady. Just steady, okay?
Will take all of the allotted time here, Dietrich Roach.
Yeah, 10 are fine, just steady.
Gives him a few more points for the season, potentially.
Right, he does slot it as well. A rare penalty. And now they can really start thinking about it. Gonzalez, who scored a critical try before the break. Now 100, brother, just under a minute to go, and it's 27-0.
Well, I wonder whether they've just done that to put it beyond reach. Probably was anyway on the scoreboard, but...
Well, they haven't really allowed Great Britain to play. Probably looked a little tired as well, just trying to pick themselves up after a tough day. GB and Australia have come out and done this job. It's been an absolute roller coaster for them as Freddie Roddick tears off. Oh, great charge from Freddie Roddick. A strong season, a young leader in this team, and Freddie Roddick scores for Great Britain.
That's typical of Freddie Roddick, and he epitomises it as the character of this side. Even when they're up against it, down but never out. And it's a great break from Freddie. Shakes up a couple of tacklers and then shows a clean pair of heels as well. Worked hard, this lad. Done great things all year. Picks up a bit of a souvenir at the end of this one.
He's overcome gaining a random nickname this season. Cute Freddie.
Long may that live.
Australia, though,
Back of red.
half a minute to go, and they are on their way. Series winners last year, winners of the opening tournament to start this season in Hong Kong, but it has been an absolute roller coaster for them since. But they are going to finish with an absolute flourish, and Nathan Lawson, who has led them in this match, is going to lead them with a ticket to Paris.
Well, it's a great nudge from Turner. Look at this for a perfectly weighted kick. And it's a pretty perfect performance from Lawson. And look what it means for this Australian side to secure that Olympic spot for Paris.
Out of the way, please.
Last year they were John Manenti's bunch of misfits. This year they've had to grind and grind, but you can book your tickets, Australia. Congratulations, Olympic qualification for the Aussie Sevens. They came out and performed in this final game when they really desperately needed to do so.